Welcome back. Last night, all eyes were on Ann Romney when she spoke at the Republican National Convention right here.
Yeah, but today it was a much more intimate setting when she sat down with our own Linda Hurtado. And Linda's here now with more on that one-on-one interview with a woman hoping to become the next First Lady of the United States. So what was your experience?
It was a very pleasant experience. She did agree to sit down with a one-on-one interview with me, and I began by asking her what she was feeling when she stepped out onto that international stage last night for what had to be the most important speech of her life.
Couldn't wait to get my message out. I loved my speech. I loved the message. I loved being able to speak from my heart and to tell people that they can trust my husband and know that I really do believe that this country will be better off if he's the next president of the United States.
You spent a good portion of this speech speaking to women like me. I'm a working mom. I have 4 girls and would love to spend more quality time with them. It seems like the opposition has spent a lot of money on ads implying that if your husband is elected, it would be bad for women. Did you hope to change that impression last night?
I certainly did. And it's, it's a cheap shot. And, women are smarter than that. And this election is about not just their economic prosperity, it's about their children's economic prosperity. Because what's going to happen if we don't address our issues right now, we will kick the ball down the road, and our children are going to have to pay back all of the debts that we're paying right now. Someone's got to pay that back.
On a personal note, Mrs. Romney, you and I have something in common. We have faced life-threatening illnesses. I believe it's fair to say our men have pulled us through. What is something specifically that your husband did to help pull you out of what you have said is your darkest hour?
It was hard. And, having MS was hard enough, and then getting breast cancer on top of it was like a double kick. And I do remember one moment where I was really kind of overwhelmed with all of it. I was in bed and just feeling, really pretty down. And I remember him just crawling in bed with me and just putting his arms around me and just comforting me. I mean, those kinds of moments you don't forget when you're really down. When you need an anchor and you need someone to say, we can fight this too. Take a day at a time. We're going to fight it. We're going to be okay. Again, I cut mine early, thank goodness. I mean, women, you need to get your mammograms.
I agree.
And we're both wearing pink, so it's a reminder that, that women, a lot of women are getting breast cancer, and we have to be each other's brothers and sisters. We have to be each other's keepers and remind each other that we have to take care of ourselves.
You've had a busy day. I know you had an early breakfast. You went all the way over to All Children's Hospital. What exhausts you the most these days, other than your schedule, which frankly exhausts me just reading it?
Yeah. I miss being around family when that tires me. It's to be on the road too long. I miss my normal life. I can keep up with the pace for 2 or 3 days, and then I really get very homesick or really need to just get back home and just be normal. Just, hang out with my kids, bake a dinner, fry some chicken and put on a, good music on that's the other thing I miss. It's just, kicking your shoes off, getting home, turning on the music, just being home. You just really miss that.
Well, home is here for the next few days, but her family's with her, and I have to tell you, when I was going in to do the interview, her son Craig was walking out, and he was like, "Hey, Mom, can I do anything else for you?" "No, that's okay." "All right, well, I'll see you later." It was all very normal, except for the 2 big, beefy Secret Service agents on either side of the door.
Right, their protection has got to be.
That was not normal.
Looking at that interview, and I saw her on stage last night, she's so pretty and seems so down to earth.
Right.
My question is, she's a grandma.
Yes.
What does she do to keep looking like that?
I was thinking about you and I when that happened. So I did ask her my last...
Don't touch
your microphone.
The last question to her that was, what is your secret, right?
Right.
And she looked at me and she kind of winked and she said, "Well, I'll tell you, Linda, during the next interview."
But seriously, you two bonded on a shared experience with breast cancer. Right. You must have had some discussion off camera about that.
We did. And when the camera stopped rolling, instead of just getting up and walking off, which you might expect that she would have done, she actually stood up and kind of touched me and said, "When were you diagnosed? What, was it early? What was some of your treatment?" And I mean, we had a very real conversation between 2 women that had something in common. And, that left an impression on me.
That's
very
cool.
Linda, thanks very much. That was a great insight into what could be, who could be the next First Lady of the United States.
And now here's a look at what's coming up next at 6.